Well, Doug, I'm going to the job site. Scott Hall, our division manager, gave me the job as a GIS for as long as you're on the project.
Well, if you're the JS, you must know all the ITs.
Right, certainly do.
Well, look, I never met the guys before, so you'll have to tell me their names. Then I'll know who's on the project.
Well, I'll tell you their names. Strange as it may seem, they give ITs nowadays very peculiar names.
You mean funny names?
Strange names, pet names like Meatball,
Meatball.
Bathtub,
Bathtub.
and Townhouse.
You mean the guy who got fired?
Yeah, that's him. Let's see, on the wire pool we have who's in the rack room, what's at the pool box, and I don't know at the tie box.
That's what I'm trying to find out.
I said we have who's in the rack room, what's the pool box, and I don't know at the tie box.
Listen, are you the engineer?
Yeah.
And you're the JS too?
Yeah.
And you don't know the fellows' names?
Well, I should.
Who's in the rack room?
Yes.
I mean the fellow's name.
Who?
The guy in the rack room.
Who?
The guy at the racks.
Who?
The guy feeding cable from the rack room.
Who was in the rack room?
That's what I'm asking you. Who's in the rack room?
That's the man's name.
That's whose name?
Yeah.
Well, go ahead and tell me.
That's it.
That's who?
Yeah.
Look, you got a guy feeding cable from the rack room.
Certainly.
Who's working in the rack room?
That's right.
When you pay mileage every week to the guy working in the rack room, who gets the money?
He does every dollar of it.
All I'm trying to find out is the fellow's name in the rack room.
Who?
The guy that gets the money.
That's it.
Who gets the money in the rack room?
He does. Every dollar of it. Sometimes his wife even comes down to collect it.
Whose wife?
Yes. What's wrong with that?
Listen, when the IT pulling cable in the rack room signs his JHA, how does he sign the sheet?
Who?
The guy.
Who?
The guy who signs it.
That's how he signs it.
Who?
Yes.
All I'm trying to find out is what's the guy's name in the rack room?
No. What's at the pull box?
I'm not asking you who's at the pull box.
Who's in the rack room?
One place at a time.
We don't switch technicians around.
I'm not switching nobody.
Take it easy, buddy.
Alright. All I want to know is who's in the rack room.
That's right.
Okay. All I'm trying to find out is what's the guy's name in the rack room.
No, what is at the pool box?
Now who's pulling at the tie box?
Who's in the rack room?
I don't know.
Oh, him? He's at the tie box. We're not talking about him. Let's get back to the rack room.
How did I get to the tie box?
You mentioned his name.
If I mention the IT's name at the tie box, who did I say is pulling wire at the tie box?
Who is in the rack room?
What's in the rack room?
What is at the pool box?
I don't know.
He's at the tie box.
There I go, back to the tie box. Will you stay at the tie box and don't go off it?
All right, what do you want to know?
Now who's pulling at the tie box?
Why do you insist on putting who at the tie box?
What is at the tie box?
What is at the pool box?
Who don't you want at the pull box?
Who is in the rack room?
I don't know.
Tie box.
Listen, you got a guy terminating amps?
Sure.
The guy terminating amps name.
Why?
Well, I just thought I'd ask you.
I just thought I'd tell you.
Listen, who is the guy terminating amps?
Who is pulling cable in the rack room?
I'm not. Stay off the wire pulls. I want to know what's the guy's name terminating amplifiers.
No. What is at the pool box?
I'm not asking who's at the pull box.
Who's in the rack room?
I don't know. Tie box. And the guy terminating amps?
Why?
Because.
No, he's terminating network. That's the fellow's name.
Look. You got a guy doing mic plates?
Sure.
The technician's name?
Tomorrow.
You don't want to tell me today?
I'm telling you then.
Well, go ahead.
Tomorrow.
What time?
What time what?
What time tomorrow? You're going to tell me who's soldering mic plates?
Now listen, who was not soldering mic plates? Who was in the rack room?
I'll break your arm, you say who's in the rack room. I want to know, what's the technician's name installing microphones?
What's at the pull box?
I don't know. Tie box. Listen, you got a field engineer?
Certainly.
Field engineer's name.
Today.
Today. And tomorrow's soldering mic plates.
Now you've got it.
All we got is a couple of days on the crew. You know, I'm a field engineer too.
So they tell me.
I get on site, do some fancy testing, and the consultant comes by.
Yes?
He wants to know we have good wiring between the floor box and the rack room, so I take the rat tester, plug one end into the floor box, and I give the other end to who?
Now that's the first right thing that you've said all day.
I don't even know what I'm talking about!
Well, that's all you have to do.
Just plug the other end of the tester into the rack room.
Yes,
Well, now who's got it?
naturally.
Look, if I want to test between the floor box and the rack room, someone's got to plug it in. Now who has it?
Naturally.
Naturally?
Naturally.
So I plug one end into the floor box and I give the other end to naturally.
No, you don't. You give the other end to who?
Naturally.
That's different.
That's what I said.
That's not what you're saying.
I give the other end to naturally.
You give the other end to who?
Naturally.
That's it.
That's what I said.
Listen, you asked me.
I take the rat tester. I plug it in. I give the other end to who?
Naturally.
Now ask me.
You give the other end to who?
Naturally.
That's it.
Same as you.
You just changed them around.
Same as you. I give the other end of the tester to who? Whoever it is doesn't get signal. He sends tone to the pull box. What radios the tie point? I don't know. Swaps the lines at the tie point. Radios tomorrow. Signal passes and the rat lights up.
Yes.
Another consultant comes by and wants to test network with because. Why? I don't know. He's on the tie box and I don't give a darn.
Oh, what?
I said, I don't give a darn.
Oh, that's our project manager. See, it's all laid out right here in the labor plan.
Hello, Ford Audio Video. My name is Chris Vance, and the frustrations of the last scene could have been avoided if Tim would have shared his labor plan with Doug before work even started on the project. Labor plan is not just a tool for the JS or PM, but it's a tool for everyone who's involved with the project. It allows all team members to know exactly what tasks they're going to be responsible for, as well as when those tasks need to be accomplished. Labor plans are due Friday at noon or right before the pre-install meeting. And remember to always share your labor plans with team members before work even starts.